Hi friends, and today we are going to discuss illustration 8 from AS13 Investments ICI Study Material. Illustration 8 we are going to discuss today. Here there are fixed income bearing securities and variable income bearing securities, both are given. So here they purchased 8% bonds and equity shares also. So you have to maintain two separate accounts, fixed income bearing securities and variable income bearing securities. Okay, let us see how to work out this. And already complete theory part related to investments and all illustrations up to 7, and they have been already uploaded and you can watch through playlist. Okay, today we can discuss the problem number 8, illustration 8. The following transactions of Nidhi took place during the year 31st March 2012, and you are provided the following particulars. You have to prepare the investment account, so in the books of Nidhi. Okay, let us work out that in the books of Nidhi by the given particulars. Okay, and we need to prepare till 31st March 2012. And as I said that either it is a fixed income bearing security or variable income security. So what we can do, usually you can purchase. Whenever you purchase, investments account data to bank. So whenever investments are sold, bank account data to investments. If there is a loss, P&L to investments. If there is a gain, investments to P&L. So during the period till the date of sale of those investments, if any income received, that is to be received. And in case of interest, you may write bank to interest. In case of dividend, bank to dividend. But as far as dividend is concerned, if it is a pre-acquisition dividend, reduce the cost of investment. Post-acquisition dividend, it is a revenue income. That's all. I repeat once again the entries. Very simple calculation part as far as AS13 investments is concerned. So calculation part is very important. But whereas entries are very simple, because few entries are there. Generally what we can buy the investment, we can sell the investments, and during the period of time till the date of sale, we can earn the income. That's all. We should know the basic entries. That's all. When you purchase the investments entry, investments account data to bank. When you sell the investments, bank account data to investments. When there is a loss on sale of investments, P&L to investments. When there is a gain on sale of investments, investments to P&L. So till the date of sale, if there is any income and you have to receive, say example fixed income securities, bank account data to interest. In case of variable income securities, bank account data to dividend. And obviously interest will go to the P&L, but in case of dividend, you have to check that it is a pre-acquisition or post-acquisition. If it is a pre-acquisition dividend, reduce the cost of investment. Post-acquisition dividend is a simply revenue income. This is the basic information related to how to maintain the investments account and how to maintain the investment in fixed income bearing security, investment in variable income bearing security. Entries are very simple, calculation part is very important here. Okay, and moreover, particularly in case of fixed income bearing securities, as and when the due date is fallen, irrespective of the information mentioned, and you have to receive the interest, whatever the investments you are having till that date, and on those investments you have to receive, because interest is to be travelled on accrual basis. But whereas dividend is concerned, unless it is given in the sum dividend received, you need not to write based on the dates. But in case of interest, you have to, whenever the due date will come, whether it is mentioned in the sum or not, and you have to receive the interest, because interest always to be travelled on accrual basis. But dividend concerned, it should be given in the sum as dividend received, and you have to check whether it is a pre-acquisition or post-acquisition. Pre-acquisition dividend reduce the cost of investment. Post-acquisition dividend is a revenue income. Okay, very simple to handle. Another very important issue, whenever purchase sales takes place, as far as fixed income bearing security is concerned, it is mentioned clearly cum interest or ex interest. Cum interest means what? Cum interest, as I said, that definitely fixed income bearing securities will travel on accrual basis. Say example, company is going to pay for every 31st March. Say example, I bought on July 1st. Company will pay the dividend March and September, but I bought on July 1st. That means April, May, June, these 3 months interest is called accrued but not due. That interest 3 months accrued, but due date is not fallen. Accrued but not due. While purchase investments, I have to pay towards cost of investments. The 3 months interest which is accrued but not due, I have to pay and I have to purchase. I have to pay towards cost of investment. I have to pay towards accrued but not due interest also. Even while selling also same. If I want to sell the investments on that day, and I have to receive the investments towards investment, and this 3 months interest which is accrued but not due interest. So definitely, particularly cum and ex interest are very important terms. Generally cum means whatever the price mentioned, if you multiply the respected bonds or debentures, whatever it is at, with respected amount, the amount which will come, that is cum interest, means interest is included in that. Ex interest means in that multiplied amount and interest is not included, you have to add separately. Cum means already included, ex means not included. So categorically should be said that in case of fixed income, variable income securities, particularly fixed income securities, cum and ex interest, either purchase or sale. In variable income securities, they never use the cum and ex words. Okay. In case of fixed income bearing securities, nothing mentioned, either purchase or sale, no information regarding cum or ex. Then you can assume it is always like ex. Okay. Very simple to work out the sums, and let us see that how to handle the sum here. Okay. Very simple and easy to handle this. Let us check it. 1st April purchase of 12 lakhs 8% bonds, 80.50 cum interest payable on every November 1st and May 1st. Okay. And later purchased equity shares in X Limited. So I maintain 2 separate accounts in the books of Nidhi. Fixed income bearing securities 8% bonds account, interest payable for every November 1st and May 1st, for every 6 months. These are the due dates company will pay the interest on fixed income securities. Second, investments in equity shares of X Limited. So date particulars, what are the columns usually you can have? Date particulars, nominal value, fixed income bearing securities, nominal value and cost and interest column. And another point, always interest to be calculated on the nominal value. Variable income securities, you may have date particulars, nominal value or number of shares, cost and dividend. In the interest place, dividend you have to write. Okay. And see that how simple to maintain here. On 1st April 2012 purchased 8% bonds, 8% bonds accounted to bank account. So this is what 2012 April 1st. So investment in 8% bonds accounted to bank account. Okay, so very importantly, the working notes mentioned there. For 8% bonds, you can write the working notes there. For equity shares in X Limited, I would like to write the working notes here. Okay, come to the 8% bonds. So see that on 1st April, purchase of bonds. It is given that 12 lakhs, of course, each 100 rupees, nothing is mentioned. I can say each bond is equal to 100. 12 lakhs by 100. Okay, that is 12,000 debentures. 12,000 debentures, multiply that 80.50. 80.50. 12,000 into 80.50. Check it how much amount is it is. 12,000 into 80.50, 9,66,000. You have to cross check very clearly every time whether it is a cum interest or ex interest. So it is very clear that in the given case it is a cum interest, means interest is already included. You have to deduct that. Remaining amount cost of purchase minus interest. Interest was always, I said that you have to calculate on the 12 lakhs into nominal value, 8% into how many months. Actually it is given that on November 1st and May 1st company is going to pay, and obviously on the November 1st already paid, and this is April 1st, later May 1st will come, one more month will be there to pay interest. Means earlier November 1st company already paid. November 1st already paid means November, December, January, February and March. 5 months which is accrued but not due. After 1 more month company will pay, but 5 months is accrued but not due. That interest you have to pay while purchasing. So therefore write here 5 by 12. So therefore you can write that 12 lakhs into 8% into 5 by 12. Okay, that is 40,000. Then what we can say, 9 lakhs 26,000. 9 lakh 26,000 you paid towards purchase of bonds. 9 lakhs 26,000 you paid towards cost of investments. 40,000 towards interest. Therefore you can write that investments account data to bank account. Write in the cost column the amount is 9 lakh 26,000. Cost column 9 lakhs 26,000. 9 lakh 26,000. Nominal value column you may write it as 12 lakhs purchased. Interest column 40,000. Clear? So 12,000 debentures purchased, 12,000 bonds are purchased, each of 100 rupees at 80.50. If you multiply 12,000 into 80.50, 9 lakh 66,000. On the nominal value calculate interest. So till April 1st, that is November 1st to April 1st, 5 months accrued but not due, 40,000. Which is come interest means which is included interest, 40,000. 9 lakh 26 paid towards the investments, 40 paid towards interest. So thereby you can write the entry like this: investments account data to bank, nominal value, cost column, and interest in the interest column. Okay, right. So come to the 12th April, purchase of 1 lakh equity shares, 10 rupees each face value, purchased at 40 lakhs rupees. And as I said that in case of variable income you will not find the word of come or X, just investments in equity shares to bank account, that's all. That is what 2012 April 12th 2012 April 12th, investment in equity shares account data to bank account. Number of equity shares 1 lakh. Definitely no dividend will be there at the time of purchase. All the amount we paid towards only cost of equity shares, 40 lakhs. Equity shares account data to bank account, write in the number of shares 1 lakh and cost column 40 lakhs. Okay, right. Second transaction is completed. Come to the third transaction. On 1st May, received half year interest on the 8% bonds. When you receive the entry bank account data to interest, so in the interest column by bank, that is happened on May 1st. By bank, interest always to be calculated on face value, 12 lakhs into 8% into, for 6 months we receive 6 by 12. Calculate that 12 lakhs into 8% into 6 by 12, 48,000, right in the interest column. What does it mean? Simply, actually I bought 1 month back in the market. I paid 5 months interest while purchasing. After 1 month I received from company 6 months interest. 5 months I paid while purchase, 6 months I received from company. 1 month is my net income and that will go to P&L account. So during this year to P&L account, 1 month is net of amount is my income. Next, on 15th May, X Limited made a bonus issue of 3 equity shares for every 2 shares held. Nidhi sold 1,25,000 shares each of 20 rupees on this date. Look at that May 15th what happened. Bonus issue is given. Right here May 15th, 2 bonus shares. Bonus shares you may write here May 15th. Bonus shares. Look at that right now how many shares are there. X Limited, right now you are having 1 lakh equity shares. X made a bonus issue for every 3 equity shares and 2 shares are given. Okay, 3 equity shares. X Limited given a bonus shares for 3 shares, 2 shares are given. Okay, now let us take that 1 lakh shares are here. You are having 1 lakh shares you are having right now. How it is given? Bonus shares are given to you. 3 equity shares for every 2 shares. 3 equity shares are given for every 2 equity shares. So therefore it would be 250,000 and it would be 1,50,000 bonus shares are given. Okay, right here in the number of shares column 1,50,000 bonus shares for every 3 shares are given without any cost, no cost incurred for them. 1,50,000 bonus shares are given and without incurring any cost, they are given at free of cost. On that date, Nidhi sold 1,25,000 shares, 1,25,000 bonus shares at 20 rupees each in the market. Whenever shares are sold, bank account data to shares account. That is on May 15th by bank within bracket sale of shares. How 1,25,000 into 20 rupees, that is 2,50,000. 1,25,000 shares are sold at 20 rupees, 2,50,000. You know that while purchase and sale, in case of equity shares, no come and X words are mentioned. Okay, but while sale, and definitely we would like to know profit loss on the sale of shares. So I would like to know profit or loss on sale of equity shares. First I would like to know cost of equity shares, average cost of equity shares sold. Average cost of equity shares sold. Totally 2,50,000, cost 4 lakhs. Forty lakhs. 1,25,000 cost is how much? 1,25,000 by 2,50,000 into 40 lakhs, that is 20 lakhs. Cost of investment sold for 25 lakhs. 25 lakhs sold for 25 lakhs, and therefore profit 5 lakhs. Profit 5 lakhs. And what would be the entry for profit 5 lakhs? Investments account data to P&L. The investments to P&L. In the investments to P&L, write in the cost column that profit should be written. How much profit is there? 5 lakhs profit is there. Okay, sale is also completed. Sale of 15th May, sale of bonus shares, half of the bonus shares, total out of 1,50,000 shares, 1,25,000 bonus shares are sold. Okay, right. Next, October 1st, sold 3 lakhs 8% bonds at 81x interest. Okay, whenever investments are sold, October 1st actually sale has taken place right there on October 1st. October 1st sales has taken place. Of course on November 1st interest will come, interest due date will be there right there. October 1st when sale has taken place right there by bank within bracket sale, and come to here October 1st sale of bonds. See that how sale has taken place. 3 lakhs means 3,000 into 100. 3 lakhs nominal value sold. 3,000 bonds are sold at 81 rupees. 3000 into 81. 2,43,000. 2,43,000. This is exclusively sale of investments, which is not included element of interest. So interest you have to collect separately. Interest, that is 3 lakhs into what is the percentage? 8% into October 1st means November 1st we will receive the interest, means 5 months is accrued but not due, 5 by 12. Therefore we can say 3 lakhs into 8% into 5 by 12. This is what 10,000. This is what 10,000. Okay. Right there in the sale of investments, fixed income bearing securities, you may write that buy bank 3 lakhs. Write in the cost column 2,43,000. 2,43,000 and interest column 10,000. Interest column 10,000. This is the way whenever sale of investments taken place on October 1st. But at the time of sale of investments, we need to find out the profit loss on the sale of investments. We have to find out the profit loss on sale of investments. Now let us calculate the profit or loss on sale of investment. First I would like to know average cost of investments sold. We know the total 12 lakhs nominal value we are having. For them cost incurred 9,26,000. Sold is 3 lakhs. Cost incurred for them 3 lakhs by 12 lakhs into 9,26,000. Okay. Now let us see that 3 lakhs by 12 lakhs into 9,26,000. 2,31,500. Sold for 2,31,500. Sold for 2,43,000. So therefore profit 2,43,000 minus 2,31,500. 11,500 is the profit. 11,500 rupees is the profit. What would be the entry? Investments account data to P&L. In the investments to P&L, October 1st to P&L account, within bracket profit, write in the cost column 11,500 rupees. By sale of investments profit earned. On November 1st received half year bonds interest. Write that on November 1st, when you receive the interest, bank to interest in the interest by bank. Right there only you are having out of 12 lakhs, 3 lakhs already sold. Only you are having 9 lakhs with you. 9 lakhs into 8% into 6 by 12. Right there 9 lakhs into 8% into 6 by 12. The interest is 36,000. Write in the interest column 36,000. 36,000. On December 31st received 18% interim dividend on equity shares including bonus shares in X Limited. On December 1st when we receive the dividend, December 1st buy bank within bracket dividend. Okay, so totally out of 2,50,000 shares, 1,25,000 sold, still 1,25,000 shares are there. Face value, on the face value we receive the dividend, not months. You need not to take any months while declaration of dividend. Number of shares into face value into percentage, that's all. Therefore 1,25,000 shares with us on that day. Face value 10 rupees, that is 12,50,000. 12,50,000 face value, and that percentage of dividend is 18%. Therefore 12,50,000 into 18% dividend. Look at that, 2,25,000 buy bank, 2,25,000 right in the dividend column. Right in the dividend column. That's all. No more transactions are there. But at the end of the period, we have to calculate the value of investments in both the cases. Okay. Let us find the value of investments for 8% bonds. We know that cost or market price, whichever is lower. Even for equity shares also, cost or market price, whichever is lower. If market price is not mentioned, obviously we have to take at cost price. So directly, even if you take here, the cost only will come in both cases. Otherwise, you may calculate and write it, no problem. Let us finally valuation of investments at the end of the period for 8% bonds as well as equity shares in X Limited. Okay, let us calculate the valuation of investments for 8% bonds first of all. So value of investments at the end of the period so totally 12 lakhs having for them cost incurred 9,26,000, 3 lakhs sold, 9 lakhs left, 9 lakhs, and what would be the cost? 9 lakhs divided by 12 lakhs into 9,26,000. Look at that, 9 lakhs by 12 lakhs into 9,26,000. 6,94,500. If market price is given, you have to cross check whichever is lower to be taken. Otherwise, you have to take the cost price itself, 6,94,500, right there. And so this is on 31st March 2012. Books are closed on 31st March 2000. Of course, earlier it was beginning is 31st March 2011. Sorry, this is 31st March 2011. This is 31st March 2012. Okay, write that. So 6,94,000 by balance carry down. 9 lakhs nominal value. Cost column 6,94,500. Okay. Moreover, here you have to take that accrued income. It has to go to P&L account of this year. Accrued income to income, in the income by accrued income. Otherwise, you can take like a balance also, no problem. 9 lakhs into 8% into how many months? Actually, earlier payment, interest payment done on which date? The payment done on November 1st. Okay, November 1st means November, December, January, February, March. 5 months again accrued but not due interest. It has to go to P&L account of this year. So therefore 9 lakhs into 8% into 5 by 12. So look at this is 30,000 rupees. Accrued but not due interest. It has to go to P&L account of this year. And lastly, come back to the equity shares also. And value of investments at the end of the period. Value of investments at the end of the period. First slide, like an average cost of investments at the end of period. Look at the totally 2,50,000 for them cost incurred 40 lakhs. $40,00,000, 1,25,000 left with us. What is the cost for them? Which is 20 lakhs. Whenever market price is not given, of course you have to take at cost price itself. So therefore this is on 31st March 2012. Buy balance carry down. 1,25,000 shares. $20 lakhs cost. Okay, yes, that's all. There is no any other information. You can close completely both these accounts. You can complete this nominal value 12 lakhs. Nominal value 12 lakhs. Net of interest will go to the profit and loss account at the end of the period, 31st March 2012 to P&L. Check the credit total. 48,000 plus 10,000 plus 36,000 plus 30,000. 1,24,000. Right here 1,24,000. Net of interest 84,000 will go to P&L. And if you total the cost column, of course it should be same, 9,26,000 plus 11,500, 9,37,500. And other side also you may check it, 2,43,000 plus 6,94,500. The total is 9,37,500. Okay, and come back to the next one here. Number of shares column total, that both the sides it should be same, 2,50,000. Dividend will go to P&L, 2,25,000. To P&L, 31st March 2012. 2,25,000 will go to profit and loss account. And of course the cost column, you can total both the sides, it would be same, 45 lakhs. Okay, no doubt this is the important one in the examination point of view. Mostly I say you would like to test both the fixed income as well as variable income securities. So in such a case, and generally this kind of sum may be given in the examination. Okay, so right, so please look into this, and all the points are detailed in the detailed manner I explained, and we can go to the next problem in the next class. Okay, bye.